All right, what is up, takers, and welcome back to Ty's Take Today Live. I go by the name of the Tyler Belts, and thank you all so much for joining us for another edition of Ty's Take Today Live. We do it each and every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we have a very packed show for you all today. That being said, I do just want to send our thoughts, our condolences, prayers, and strength to the entire state of California during this difficult time. I'm sure if you guys have all seen on social media or on the news coverage, they are currently dealing with some very severe wildfires. So I do want to send our thoughts to everyone impacted by the California wildfires, excuse me. And I do also want to take a moment as well to invite you all to connect with us on social media. Y'all already know how we do. Facebook.com/@It'sTysTakeToday. Instagram @It'sTysTakeToday. We keep it real simple for all of you. YouTube, be sure to tap and hit that subscribe button as well @It'sTysTakeToday. And of course, TysTakeToday.com for all the latest. So just some quick updates really quickly from California. Governor Gavin Newsom has launched CaliforniaFireFacts.com on yesterday to address what he calls mis and disinformation, which is currently being spread online about the recent fires in Southern California. And it said that it's inspired by allegedly false information being spread by Fox News, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and X. So if you guys want that website, it's CaliforniaFireFacts.com. And then also, I do want to encourage you, if you are out there and you are able to donate to those that are impacted, be sure to visit our website before you do so to get some tips from the Better Business Bureau. Just so that you guys can protect yourselves when donating. There's a lot of scammers, a lot of not real organizations and people out there that are taking advantage of vulnerable people during this time. And the latest numbers from New York Times is saying that at least 16 people have been reported dead. And the county sheriff is saying that reports of missing people are increasing by the hour. So like I said, our thoughts are with everyone impacted during this difficult time. And we also have, as you guys can tell by the title, we're talking a little bit about comedy today. So hopefully we can take off some stress and just have a good time on today's show as well. Joining us, we are going to be talking to HaHa Herby, who is a comedian and actor. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and add him to the virtual stage. Hey, how's it going?
What up, everybody? How's it going? Thank you for having me, Ty.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you. And as I said before earlier in the introduction, our thoughts and prayers are with you, your family, everyone that is impacted by the current wildfires. I just want to check in with you first off, and before we dive into who you are and a little bit more about your story, how are you and your family doing during all of this?
So honestly, we are in very disarray. Fortunately, I'm not as impacted from the fires as much as those that are in the Pacific Palisades and those that are affected in Altadena and Pasadena. I live in like the Inglewood area, but the smoke and the debris is being carried by the winds. And so it's left a lot of people misplaced. I've had a lot of friends that have evacuated. I've offered my space to be a place of refuge for a lot of my friends and family that live here. But it's a lot happening right now, and a lot of people are in disarray. A lot of people, it's also causing an on-spread of crime and criminal activity and burglaries. So, and because of that, and because of the fires, ambulance and police officers can't be all around in the city because it's so huge. So it's kind of like Armageddon out here a little bit.
Absolutely. And, just seeing the videos and the footage, I know we actually have a clip that you sent in to us. So I do want to share that so we can talk a little bit about the fires and the current situation. We have some viewers that send in some photos and videos as well. And then I really want to take some time to kind of change the vibe, change the environment, and just talk a little bit about yourself and your career thus far, your experiences, and have some comedy. Like, let's have a good time as well.
Yeah, let's loosen up.
So before we do so, I do just want to share that video with us that you sent us.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
And, just seeing, like I said earlier, these photos, these videos, and, even hearing that the missing people count is
Yes.
expected to continuously increase. Like I said, I can't imagine or even begin to fathom what everybody in California is currently going through. We do also have some viewer submitted photos as well. I believe that is in Glendale, California.
Oh my God.
Instagram user Josiah Collins sent us that photo. And then we have some photos as well from Burbank. And this is just some, one angle or one part of what people are going through.
Wow.
So I like I said, our thoughts and, sending an abundance of strength to everyone impacted by the fires as well.
It's so bad. Yes, my thoughts and prayers are going to everybody that's affected by the wildfires. I have a friend that moved here recently, and she called me and she was like, "Herbie, what do I do? Like, I've never dealt with this before. Like, what do I do?" And I was like, "Girl, I don't know what to do either. This has never happened. Like, this is new to us." A firefighter did speak about it on KTLA 5 about, honestly, most of the time when we have these wildfires in California, SoCal, we're just really lucky. Most of the time the fires start in like way in the mountain areas or like deep in the valley, like a semi valley. And there's not as many homes, not as many people or populations there. But this one, it just hit like the perfect winds. There was fire. It's just like the combination of the dry, because of the dry shrubbery. Yeah, because we weren't able to, because we haven't had a lot of rain this season. So it was just a formula for, unfortunately, the perfect storm. And now there's room, there's reports of that there might be arsonists involved as well. So that just complicates the issue even more. So I'm sending prayers to everybody in Pacific Palisades, people in Altadena and Pasadena.
Absolutely. And sorry for that technical difficulty. That video is actually supposed to air next. But like I said, one last thing before we dive in and talk a little bit and introduce our audience to who you are as a creative, which I'm super excited about. I do want to shout out to Shelly Bruce. So she is an artist, a poet, painter, and she calls herself a love worker. She is one of the creators of the Heart Department, and she is using her platform and advocacy work to intersect art, wellness, and social justice. So I wanted to share with you in our audience as well a video where she's talking a little bit about the fires, and just I think it's important to put in and showcase her perspective as well. There's a lot, like you said, a lot of misinformation going around,
Yes.
And then a lot of people, not understanding the severity of the circumstances, because when we think California, we think of Hollywood, Los Angeles, but also it's just, there's a lot of different feelings and emotions involved with these types of tragedies. So I want to share her video and then we can dive into your interview.
Specifically clear, and this is specifically for the Black community of Los Angeles. All these Black communities and families in Altadena, all these families, we are going to make sure it's our responsibility that they are restored as much as possible, if not tenfold. There's Los Angeles, one of the largest most densely populated metropolitan areas in the country, one of the biggest economies. I'm calling on Blavity. I'm calling on Spill. I'm calling on Beyonce. I'm calling on NBA people. I'm calling on comedy and actors. I'm calling on the Black community. Let's ensure that generational work that was built and worked and so hard for. My childhood piano teacher who's in his elderly years with a terminal illness, my godparents, Rhythms of the Village, one of the most important Black-owned businesses in Pasadena, all of these Black families that lost their historic neighborhood. When all these insurance companies, all this stuff gets real funny, we're going to be by their side. We're going to be advocating for them. We're going to be calling on the wealth that is in our community. And let's make sure that they have everything they need. I don't know what the answer is, but can we just make that a consensus? Can we share that message? Can we reach out to Black huge businesses and ensure that we protect them? That, I think, is our duty.
All right. So, just like hearing her video, how did that make you feel, and what are your thoughts on that clip that we just showed?
Ooh, my goodness, Ty. I'm sweating, not from the flames. Uh, to be quite honest, she has a point. There's a lot of layers, and I've been on the internet a little bit, having a different dialogue with people about the fires, about the natural disaster. And history has shown us when natural disasters happen, a lot of times the people that are affected most are people that don't necessarily have the wealth or the fundings. And usually that matriculates into Black and brown people of color. And so history has shown us, like even during Hurricane Katrina, that when the levees broke, mostly urban communities were hit the hardest, and developers came in and just basically swooped it up, rebuilt it, and then sold it to communities that weren't part of the culture, didn't grow there, and most of them made them either high rises or homes to rent for astronomical prices, which a lot of people in our communities can't afford. And so one thing that I've really advocated for is that there's been a lot of media coverage, a lot of emphasis, donations, funding to Pacific Palisades, which is a great thing. It's very important because all those people too have lost their homes. Those people too are devastated from the impact of the flames. However, we know that majority of those communities are wealthy people, and with wealth, you have the flexibility to kind of move differently, where in the alternative, there hasn't been much coverage with Altadena and Pasadena. And so I want to make sure that there's an importance that those communities, specifically those communities that are brown and Black people, are getting the necessities, the attention that they deserve as well. Just because it is a dilemma that's facing all of us. But we also have to make sure that we are spreading as much care, as much attention, as much love, as much donations to everyone. And so I definitely understand her. And I'll, not to get on a soapbox, but I remember this was back in 2018. I was in Manhattan Beach, and I will never forget it because I had $20 in my name. I was broke as hell. And I saw this beautiful couple sitting in one of the beach houses, one of the beach mansions. And in Manhattan Beach, we have a ton of mansions laid out on the beach. And so I just got the courage to ask them, like, I want to be rich like that one day. What did you do to accumulate, like, to get this much money? And she told me, and I will never forget this, she told me when 9/11 happened, her husband is a developer and literally called the locations that were destroyed and asked the people that owned the property, the land area, how much they were going to bargain with them, how much to sell it, because it's been damaged by the attack. And basically he rebuilt it, made high rises, and sold it, and they make profit off of that. And so I think the most disheartening thing to know about these type of disasters is that while people are devastated, while people are losing their homes, while they're losing their memories, they're losing family members, their pets, there's developers right on the other line getting ready to buy the land, buy the property for cheaper, and bargain with them because they know that it's been damaged. So it's unfortunate.
Absolutely. Shifting gears a little bit now. So you've had an incredible career being featured on VH1, Fox Soul, Celebrity Squares, Revolt TV. What has been the most memorable moment for you on your journey thus far?
Okay, first of all, Ty, thank you for doing your research. Okay, you know about me. I was like, hold on, how you know? I was like, wait a minute, that's me? Yeah, that's me. I would say one of the most highlighted moments, I would say, there's two moments for me. When I did VH1 Celebrity Squares, I really enjoyed working with DC Young Fly on the show, on the game show. It was so fun. I had a very great time. And then to have one of my clips taken and to have Kevin Hart, like the Kevin Hart, like this is the Kevin Hart, comment on a comment that I made from the show, from that clip. It was really exciting. Like I'm still kind of on cloud nine just because Kevin Hart's like the Beyonce of comedy. Like he's phenomenal. And so to kind of get that tip to him, I'm still gagging for that. And then the other one is that one of my videos went viral and the lovely T.S. Madison reposted it and followed me on Instagram. And so I've always been a fan of hers for years. And so I really am phenomenal that she looks at me as someone that to follow, to learn from. And so I would say those are two of my highlighted moments.
Absolutely. And then how did this all start? How did you, because I know comedian and music artist, correct?
Yeah.
Community, just a whole bunch of different titles. How did like what sparked that interest in that moment where you were like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. So for me, I really loved entertaining people. Like since I was 3, I literally just got the phone with my sister she was talking about how she remembered when I was like 3 or 4 years old and how I had this like karaoke machine and I was singing Michael Jackson on the chimney stairs. Total mess. Like had a wig, had the hat, just a shake and go wig, lived a total mess. And so I think that's when I got into just performing. I love performing since I was little. And then my dad is a minister. And so, you know, just kind of, it runs in our blood to be in front of people and speak to large crowds. Now comedy was kind of the last minute thing because most people don't grow up and be like, I want to go on stage and embarrass myself in front of tens or hundreds of people. And so it was one time I was in LA and I was working with this company and they basically just needed extras to go certain places and they would pay us like, $30 to $60, good Jack in the Box money. And so I remember going to the location. This location specifically was like a comedy school. And so LA School of Comedy. And I remember the owner and a comedian named Sunda. I remember that I was just clowning around because we were waiting for them to start the production. And I just remember clowning around and joking with some of my collaboratives there and other people that I was meeting and acquaintances. And so I didn't know she overheard me telling jokes. And so she came up to me and was like, have you ever thought about doing stand-up? And I was like, no, I never thought about doing stand-up. And so then she was like, well, tell you what, you come back here on Saturday, do a 7-minute set, and then I'll see if you got what it takes. So I wrote a couple of jokes down, did a 7-minute set. It went well. And then she invited me to perform at the Laugh Factory, and then everything just took off from there. So I really have a Cinderella story, if you will, about getting into comedy.
Wow, that is crazy. Just to think that like that one opportunity, has allowed you to grow that laughter and create that connection with your audience. What challenges have you faced as an overall creative, and how did you overcome those obstacles or challenges?
Oh my God. I will say really the hardest thing, and I know this sounds corny because we hear this all the time, is like really centering and believing in yourself. In this industry, it's very tough. And I'll say this, I'll keep it very frank about the industry and about Hollywood. It's basically a room full of people that want to make it, people that are making it, people that think they're making it, people that used to make it, and people that don't want you to make it. And so you're in this room with all these people and you have to navigate how to deal with all these people because all these people are are connected to either a possible opportunity, a possible to a new idea, a new vision. And so you're trying to navigate all that. And so what I've come to realize the most challenging thing is to really stay confident in yourself, knowing that, sometimes rejection is for your protection. Sometimes it has nothing to do with your talent. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you at all. A lot of times it has to do with other people and how they interpret you or how they project their insecurities onto you. And so you have to really navigate that. And I would say a second thing is money. LA is very expensive. And I'm not going to hold you. So there's been some times literally after New Year's, after I paid my rent because I had my fund and then I paid my rent. And then I was like, you know what? OnlyFans may not seem like a bad idea. It may not seem like a bad idea. You can get this for $7.99. Your cheap boy self.
Not the OnlyFans. So you worked with some major platforms as we mentioned earlier. What advice would you give to those that are looking to begin their journey as in this industry? What would be the advice you would give to anybody out there that may be watching?
Oh man, Ty, you have these great questions. Oh, like, come on, Oprah.
You know.
You know, if I would give any advice, you have to want it, but not to the point where you're going to compromise yourself. Whatever you do when you're pursuing this, think about if you can sleep at night, go forward with it. I would say the first thing you want to do is learn a trade, something that you can teach, something that you can make money from. Just because you're going to need the income to support your life. You're going to need the income to support your future and invest in your career. So that's first. Find a trade that you can do or a very stable job. And don't give up that job until your passion starts to make more money than what you're making at whatever is funding your career. The second thing I would say is if you're looking to get into comedy or acting of any sort, start on LA Casting. If you move out here, start at LA Casting. Start going on these casting websites, and then keep doing them till you can build your portfolio up, until you can book an agency that will want to work with you, and you can show them your portfolio and all your work and what you've done. And then after that, just continuously invest in yourself. Take shots, headshots, multiple headshots of you in different outfits, different costumes, so that way when casting agents look at your portfolio and can see, they can imagine you in whatever they're looking for. And then if you don't get a part, if you don't get it, I would say think of it, for every opportunity that you get, it requires at least 100 auditions. So when you audition, go with that mindset of like, per 100 auditions that I do, someone's gonna call me. And so every day, just think weekly, like, I need to submit, let me aim for at least 100 casting calls. Let me submit myself for 100 gigs. And that way, the more you submit, the more it comes back to you. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. And then as the title of this episode is comedy, community, and coping with California wildfires, I wanna talk a little bit more about your experience living in Los Angeles. How have you personally been affected by the California wildfires, and can you kind of set the layout of what you've experienced in regards to this tragic disaster?
Yes. So, how do I say this? I don't live in the hood, but the hood is like right next to me. So, and so we're not necessarily affected as far as like the fires. When the fires did begin to come ablaze in Hollywood on Sunset, this area, we started getting a little concerned because we started realizing, like I told my sister, because I'm so used to LA traffic, I was like, that's not far. Hollywood's only 8 miles away, which is 30 to 45-minute drive. But she was like, Herby, that is close as hell. Like, you definitely, you need to evacuate. But we're not as affected by the flames, but as much as the debris and smoke. So that's been kind of an effect here, because I live in Ladera Heights area. And so, and then also a concern is with the arsonists has been a major concern, because Ladera Heights has hills, and we have hills here, and they're very dry. And so if there's if an arsonist decides that they want to set the Ladera Heights or Baldwin Hills on fire, we'll have the same situation happening. And so that's kind of been more of the challenges here. And like anything else, when there's a catastrophe or anything, people go in disarray. So when I go to the grocery store, it's like a circus. People are panicking. People are all over the place. People are taking toilet tissues again. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to help you from a fire, but I get it. So I see people kind of in disarray, and then knowing that, I got a notification from my apartment complex talking about, there's been a recent increase in like burglaries or suspicious activity. And if you see anything, be vigilant or report it, because 911 can't respond to everybody right away as of now. So that's kind of been one of the major challenges for us, is that because of the catastrophe, it has ricocheted into people pursuing criminal activity. They said, there's people that are dressing up in firefighting outfits to blend in with the firefighters, but they're really like looters and thieves. So it's kind of like, I guess, The Walking Dead in a sense, or like Hunger Games. Right now, the city's just kind of, everybody's like trying to make sure that they are safe themselves. They're trying to take precautions to protect their properties from robbers. And so I think that's the major thing that I've been dealing with.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to put you on the spot. What message do you have for those who have been directly impacted by the wildfires? Like, what is your message to those that have been directly impacted, and to those out there that may be considering or wanting to know more about how they can give back?
Yes. Okay. Now you got me putting on my minister hat. I will say this to people that have lost everything. Although I've never lost anything to a fire, I know what it feels like to lose everything. I know what it feels like for your memories to be gone. I know what it feels like to one day wake up and see that what you used to have is no longer there. And the thing that helped me was to remind myself that I still have my life. I still have my friends. I still have people that love me. I'm still valuable. I'm still worthy, because sometimes we can lose ourselves in the things that are tangible. We can lose ourselves in the things that are material. And then when we think about our life is priceless. It's precious. And so centering yourself in that and saying that every day, yes, cry those tears, cry as many days as you want. Feel the pain, feel the loss, grieve it, but don't stay there. Know that you are supported and you're loved. And for those that are trying to support, there are a ton of organizations that are available for us to donate, to support. I'm sure I'm going to start working with organizations soon and collaborate with them to see if there's a way that we can show support. But there are housing, like Homeward Bound is one organization that helps with housing. The National Red Cross is also assisting with housing. And be sure that when you do donate, make sure that the donations that they're giving the donations strictly to the victims of the fires. Because there's going to be a lot of organizations that are asking you to donate, and we're not trying to pay their publicists. We're not trying to pay their management. We want to make sure that the funding is actually going to. So when you are donating, it's okay to ask, hey, when I donate this money, is this going strictly to the victims or going to the city of LA, just to see where your money is going. Be careful out there for scammers. If you're not sure if you're not sure if the donation is legit or if the organization is legit, my advice to you is not to give to that organization, just because we want to make sure that the money that you give or donate is going to go to the right amount of people.
Absolutely. And then, of course, I do also want to show on the screen real quick. If we have that, there we go. All right. So Afropunk Worldwide LLC, they actually created a list of GoFundMe campaigns of all the Black individuals and families who have been affected by the LA fires. So that list is actually they're keeping active tabs, and they're updating the list every hour. So if you guys can see on our screen right now, that screen grab is actually our Facebook page, facebook.com/@its-ties-take-today. But if you actually go to that post, click on that document, it'll be a document with just the list of individuals and families impacted, and where their current fundraising goals are, and what goals they are looking to reach. So like I said, just one of the many different sources, and especially with misinformation out there, it's important to make sure that that those that are able to donate are, or even simply sharing the post on social media. That's just one of the many resources out there that have been put together. So once again, shout outs to Afropunk Worldwide LLC for that. And now I want to also talk a little bit about, speaking of LA and California, with its unique challenges and inspirations, how do you stay inspired, and, who are some of your biggest inspirations?
Okay. So, in the world of music, some of my biggest inspirations is love. I love will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas. I love Michael Jackson. I'm really a J. Cole fan because I do a little rap too. Also, my single "Better" is out on iTunes, so check that out. Shameless plug. So I really look up to them as my musical motivation, just because they consistently grow and they consistently shown development in their musical style. But when it comes to comedy, I always say this, like one of my biggest inspirations or people that really got me into comedy and someone that I really hold close and dear to is Samson and Flame Monroe. I love the fact that Samson, like before I even thought of doing comedy, I used to watch Samson live videos on my YouTube when I was in college back in like 2014. And, I used to think to myself, like, I think I could do that. I love that he was an openly queer comedian. And it was during a time where, being queer was not just the coolest thing in the world. And so I just was really admired him to be bold enough to stand in that and just, travel across the country and perform stand-up to various amounts of people. And then Flame Monroe, actually, I still stay in contact with Flame Monroe. I love her to death because I just love her story of how she came up. And how she's unapologetically herself, and she doesn't give a F about what anybody thinks. And so some of that energy has spread onto me. And so those are like my two biggest comedians that I really look up to. And I love Cat Williams. Cat Williams, for God, if I could be as funny and have the room laugh like Cat Williams, everything. Like if I could get that, I love Cat Williams because he has a way of speaking about serious topics and making them lighthearted, but it's so much truth into what he says. And so that's one of my biggest inspirations is I hope to meet Cat Williams one day. I love Cat Williams.
Absolutely. And then I know you hinted at the single that's currently available, but what other projects are currently out there, or what current projects are you working on, and what can we expect from you as a creative into the new year?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on my Rihanna. I ain't telling y'all. No, I'm kidding. So I am working on an EP. It's gonna be called Waves. It's gonna be coming out this year. So be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be on all streaming platforms. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just doing some finishing touches on some of the songs. I do believe there is a cipher that has came out recently. It's a queer inclusive cipher, and I'm featured on that cipher. It's a ton of us. Like it's really awesome, and it's gaining traction. And then as far as comedy goes, I will be opening for the great Jalen White. He's one of my peers. I love him so much, and he's working on a comedy album. And so I'll be opening up for him in May. And so be on the lookout for us working together because we got some exciting things going on. And I also will be, there's a show that I am working on in the works of going that possibly might be on Tubi. So be on the lookout for that as well. So I got some big things coming in 2025. So y'all be on the lookout for your boy.
Absolutely. Super exciting. So we've, during our past interviews, we've been doing like a quick rapid fire questions type of game. So Herbie, if you're down, I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you.
Oh God, let me put my thinking cap on.
All right. So first one, if you could have a theme song play every single time you walked into a room, what song would it be?
Oh, Kaya, My Neck and My Back.
Full disclaimer, the views and the thoughts and the ideas that have been expressed by Tides Take Today Live's guests are not a direct factor or impression on me. Full disclaimer, just had to throw that out there. What's the weirdest thing that you've ever Googled?
The weirdest thing that I ever Googled? Oh my God, let me see. Let me see. The weirdest thing that I ever Googled. Okay, this might be TMI. But I Googled, I said, what is the difference between a queef and a fart when performing anal sex?
All right.
I'm sorry.
If you were a superhero, what superpower? If you were a superhero, what superpower would you want to have?
I'm a Taurus, so I love food. Like if I could just make dishes appear and I could eat them, I think that would be my superpower. Like if I could just like instead of because I'm a Taurus, so I love to eat, but I'm also lazy, so I don't like to cook. And I just feel a way about like it took me an hour to make this dish, and I'm about to eat it in like 2 minutes. Something's wrong with that. That's backwards. So if I could like make like shrimp Alfredo and just make it appear and then just eat it, that would be my superpower. I could feed the needy with that. Yeah.
Okay. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. 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 And I don't care. I don't care. Y'all can revoke my black card. I don't care. I don't care. I like pineapple on pizza.
And I think you may have hinted at it earlier, but if you could trade lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, I would trade. Rihanna's my girl. I love Rihanna. I love Riri. Like if I could just live like Rihanna for a day and just smell good all day and just like be that bad girl and just be like, yeah, like I know I'm that girl. I would love that. Yeah, so Rihanna. Rihanna, hit your boy up. I want to wear some Fenty. I want to be a model for your Fenty collection.
What's one random talent or skill that you have that nobody may know about?
One random talent or skill. Let's see. That I don't know. A lot of people don't know this, but actually, I actually can paint. Like I draw and do sketches and like paint portraits and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't know that, but I went to school for art, and so I have a whole arts degree.
Nice. I am not artistic at all. So, hey.
I mean, you don't know. You have to try. You know, I used to work for a sip and paint place, and I was you'll be shocked at the people that be like, oh, I can't draw or I can't paint. And then you just get a couple instructions and boom, you got it.
I might have to test my painting abilities. I don't know. Maybe. Don't quote me. What is one word that you would use to describe your outlook for 2025?
Let's see. One word. Let's see. Let's see. That's such a difficult one word. Let's see. Bet. B-E-T. Bet. That's gonna be my slogan for 2025. Like bet on myself, bet not holding back, betting on everything that I've been holding back. And then if people that have mistreated me, all right, bet.
That's a good mindset for the new year. Bet. All right. Herbie, thank you so much for joining us and sharing just a little bit about your career as a creative and your experiences with the current wildfires in California. Closing us out before we get out of here, any final last thoughts or takeaway that you would like for our audience to take away from this discussion? And then, of course, we'll be sure to include all of your social media handles in the description as well.
Sweet. I just want to give a personal shout out and thank you so much, Ty. I love your energy. You made me feel very safe in this interview, so I really appreciate the space you've given and then just giving a platform. There hasn't been a lot of platforms that's really been speaking about the fires, so I really appreciate that you create a space for me to kind of share what's going on here in LA. And then just some final words to people that are dealing with the fires or even snowed in, because I know there's other things going on in the country. There's also been terrorist attacks that have been happening. And so I just want people to know, like, in the midst of the chaos, take as much mental breaks as you need. Let's not let hate dictate our world. We can come together. We have to lead with love, and we have to lead lead. We have to fight for love. And so be vigilant and love on people, because we don't know what people are going through. So just think about loving people, continuously inspiring people, give people a compliment, do whatever you can that just shows warmth and grace, and just give light whenever you can. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Now I want to get a wig. So if the next episode I come in with a wig, don't be like, who's that? It's still Tyler. It's just a wig. All right.
Yes, go ahead.
But I just want to say thank you again. And like I said, we're sending our thoughts, prayers, strength. Just really trying to use our platform to have the conversations that a lot of people turn away from or choose not to discuss because it's easier. But we like to use our platform to have those conversations. And I sincerely, genuinely thank you for sharing just a portion of your experiences with us today.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So this has been another edition of Ty's Take Today Live. That was comedian, actor, music artist, and then his name is HaHa Herby. So I feel like I have to laugh when I say that. But we do it each and every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So you already know what time it is. I'm about to give you where you can follow and connect with us. Instagram at It's Ty's Take Today, Ty'sTakeToday.com, Facebook.com. What is it? It's Ty's Take Today. It's simple. It's that easy. Also, Ty'sTakeToday.com. Like I said, part of this conversation was to share Herby's journey, but also kind of uplift our audience today. I know there's just so many things going on. The California wildfires and just a lot of different things that have been happening and going on in the world. So it's important to take time to be in the moment and not always focus on the serious situations that may be impacting us in our communities. For more information on some tips from the Better Business Bureau when it comes to donating to different campaigns and fundraisers for victims of the California wildfires, visit Ty'sTakeToday.com for those tips. Also, Facebook.com at It's Ty's Take Today. We did share that Afro Punk Worldwide LLC graphic virtual document, which has a running list of individuals and Black families who have been affected by the LA fires. The list is updated hourly. So for that is going to also be posted in the description of this video. That's going to do it for this episode of Ty's Take Today Live. Be sure to join us later this coming week on Thursday. We have a packed show for you all. Miles the Prince, who is an entrepreneur and club and event promoter. We have Derek Jacoby Washington, who is a author, youth advocate, and leader. And as well as, I know we have one more guest and it's slipping me, but we have a jam-packed show for you all on Thursday. So Thursday, right here, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you at 6 p.m. Eastern. Once again, I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your evening, day, morning, night, whatever the case may be. And we'll see you right back here on Thursday. This has been Ty's Take Today Live. We're out.